Welcome to Collington, and welcome to your personal golf cart tour, at least virtually. I'm Cory, and I've been a member of the Collington team for nearly 14 years. One of the highlights of my role is getting to take prospective residents on a golf cart tour around our 126-acre campus. You're in good hands. I've been here for nearly a decade and a half. I don't exactly have a golf cart license, but hop aboard anyway. You're in good hands.
And off we go. One of the nice things about a virtual golf cart tour is the weather is always perfect. But just in case your preferred mode of transportation is not a golf cart, Collington has a fleet of different cars and shuttles that go any number of locations. Remember, our community is located conveniently about 11 miles from the heart of Washington, D.C. So those shuttles will often frequent the Kennedy Center and National Symphony and Strathmore and the Smithsonian, and more practical trips like the local metro or the grocery store. As you're beginning to see, Collington was founded on a 126-acre campus. A little history. Our community was the inspiration of the Episcopal Diocese of Washington, who had this idea to found a different type of retirement community, and they were extremely fortunate to be gifted this incredibly green pastoral 126-acre campus. In fact, it used to be farmland, and again, a generous philanthropist gifted it to us for the purpose of founding our non-for-profit community. In my decade plus of service, most of the residents who I serve, who have joined Collington, appreciate the juxtaposition of living on a true campus that's incredibly verdant and green, but having access to the culture and the action of Washington, D.C. So we're beginning to see some of our cottage homes. So Collington is a community of about 425 residents, and the vast majority of whom live independently. And almost half of our independent living residents live in cottages. So they are first floor walkouts. Each of them has light from multiple exposures, the ability to garden on two sides of the home. And what's nice is they run the gamut in size, from more modest studios and one bedrooms to one bedroom with den to different varieties of two bedroom and two bedroom den. And as you see, each of these cottage neighborhoods has its own parking area, open complimentary parking in the middle, and covered carports that residents can rent, devoted spaces around the perimeter. Even though we're practically full, plenty of parking for our residents and for our guests. So as we continue around the Collington Beltway, much less traffic than the Capitol Beltway, you're seeing a paved walking trail. It's about 1.25 miles for residents who circumnavigate the campus, and many residents take advantage of the opportunity to walk here. We know that environment is such an important part of wellness and well-being, and our residents are fortunate to be able to get out and about. You're seeing that our community is surrounded by an arboretum, by a nature preserve, by green space. It's basically a natural boundary around the 126 acres. Within that, however, are tennis courts that have been converted into pickleball courts, a really active, zealous group who will be happy to recruit you to play pickleball. As we turn, we are going to look at our villas. Collington did one major expansion in the early 2000s, and when it did, the market told us that there's a desire for larger homes. So remember, our cottages run the gamut in size. They're more modest. The villas are categorically larger. Homes that are approximately 1,700 to 2,100 square feet, and the villas are either 2-bedroom with den or 3-bedroom. In the center of this neighborhood of villas are some shared gardens. These are garden plots, so residents can get down and dirty. They can grow flowers, vegetables, and those fences that you see are keeping out our friends the deer, who definitely make their home in the nature preserve. Again, these are villas. These are categorically larger 2-bedroom with den or 3-bedroom homes. They have garages, and like the cottages, they're first floor walkouts with the opportunity to garden both in the front and behind the villas. Behind this neighborhood that we're looking at now, that nature preserve stretches all the way back. Again, there's green space around practically all of Collington. You will notice, however, that the villas don't have a connecting walkway system that leads to the community center like our cottages do. Outside, you'll see that we do recycling. We come and pick that up twice a week. Sustainability is extremely important to our community. It's woven into our DNA. Our resident-run Climate Action Committee is extremely passionate. We're passionate about being good stewards of our 126-acre campus and the world at large. We're peaking at another neighborhood of villas. There are only 28 on campus. They're extremely sought after. They're also extremely rare. Unfortunately, they do carry the longest waits on campus. And outside the villas, there's this paved walking trail that goes all the way around Collington. You're beginning to get a peek into some of that protected nature preserve, the Arboretum. And as we come around the corner, this is the parking area for our apartment home. So again, half of our independent living residents live in the cottage setting or the villas, and about half live in apartment homes. What's nice, though, is the apartment building isn't this huge hulking high-rise. It's a 2 or 3 story building. It's very modest. They call it garden style. And even though our community is practically full, there's plenty of parking, as you can see. A similar dynamic to the cottages. We're looking at open complementary space for residents or guests, and then in the distance there are covered carports that residents can rent on a month-to-month basis. What's really nice, the design of the apartments, they all have outdoor space access. They all have patios or balconies. Some residents who are extremely fortunate will have patios or balconies that face our 6-acre lake. So all the lakes in our community are human-made. You can see in the distance this is aerated, but it is a 6-acre body of water, catch and release fishing, beautiful hiking trails around some of it. And then we're beginning to get a peek at our dock where residents can store paddle boats, canoes, kayaks, take family, grandkids out on the water. And again, it wouldn't be Collington if there weren't wonderful walking trails around much of it. So we're peeking at our independent apartments, connecting walkway that leads to our community center, the heartbeat of Collington. And then up the hill, for the most part, is our health center. So we have typically about 60 or 70 residents who live in one of 4 higher levels of care, specialized neighborhoods of assisted living, memory care, and rehabilitative care. So the care here at Collington is wonderful. It always has been. It's highly regarded, long-tenured staff, but the building is almost 40 years old. The part of the building we're looking at now is our Junior Olympic-sized pool. It's been well used, but it's also seen better days. Sometimes I refer to it as an 81 Pinto that we keep sinking money into. So what's going on now is our Collington Foundation, our philanthropy wing, led by residents, is working on a project to raise the money to build a brand new pool and aquatic center. Pools are a lot more expensive than they used to be. We're looking at a $5 million project, but that's been something that residents are working on right now. So I kind of alluded to about 60 or 70 residents live in our health center, and I'm using that as an umbrella term for 4 different levels of assisted living. Residents typically join our community sometime in their 70s, live independently for 10 or more years, but as needs change, they can graduate to one of those higher levels of care right here on campus and are still denizens, still citizens of Collington. The area that we're driving around now is a specialized memory care neighborhood, an area of care that's devoted exclusively to caring for residents who are dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, or cognitive impairment. The beauty of being a part of a continuing care retirement community or a life plan community is it's just that. It's a plan for the rest of your life. It's meant to feel like a village or a college, but as we age, as our needs increase, no matter what happens, Collington is going to be able to care for you. We're going to conclude here at our clock tower. That's our proverbial front door. It's the center of activity where you'll find various amenities. So welcome in to Collington.